regards to the General's query on 6 issues, Auditor General, I'll be asking you to provide us with the meat of each of the query. You can do the first 3 so that we can save time. Just give him a few seconds in signing the oath form, and then you give us a summary of like 3 of the first queries.
Auditor General for the Federation's reports on non-compliance, internal control weaknesses in ministries, departments, and agencies for the year ended 31st December 2020. Mr. Chairman, I read from page 448 of the report. Issue 1, diversion of contract payments into staff accounts, 45.2 million naira. Audit observed as follows. The sum of 45.2 million in favor of 3 different contractors was paid into the private account of an officer of the ministry. 2, the sum of 4.2 million naira for equipping and installation of office furniture in the main office of the Honorable Minister was paid to the officer's account through voucher number MBF CAP 12/2020 dated 18th May 2020. 3, the sum of 3.9 million was equally paid into the same staff account instead of the contractor's account. 4, payment for an insurance broker amounting to 12.9 million was paid into the officer's GTB account instead of the broker's bank account. And 5, the sum of 24.0 million was paid to the same officer's account instead of the actual contractor or beneficiary's account. Our recommendations. The permanent secretary is requested to 1, account to the Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly the sum of 45.2 million paid to staff of the ministry instead of the actual beneficiary.
All right. That's issue number 1. Is it?
Yes.
That's number 1.
Yes. Issue 1. Recover and remit to the treasury.
No, he has read all those.
Yes, the 3 amounts to that 45%.
Yes.
All right, so take number 2.
Payment before raising paid vouchers, 13.8 million. Audit observed that the sum of 13.8 million was paid for feed data collection for the 2019 National Infra Report through the GiveMe's payment platform on 7th August 2020. The paid voucher for the transaction was raised on the 10th of August 2020, 3 days after the payment was made. 3, payment for overseas travels without approval, 19.6 million. Audit observed that the sum of 19.6 million was spent on foreign travels. There was no evidence to show that approvals were duly obtained from the head of service of the Federation before payments were made as required by extant regulations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Those are the two issues. Issue number 4, abuse of reimbursable expenses, 23 million naira. Audit observed that the ministry awarded contracts to a company in disguise of reimbursable expenses embedded in the original facility maintenance contract. Instead of awarding a fresh contract, 2, the sum of 4.1 million was paid for the supply and installation of executive loft corner adjustable office sofa set with throw pillows, coffee tea table with accessory and freight charges as reimbursable expenses. 3, contract of works amounting to 18.9 million was paid but recorded in the accounting books and given payment platform as reimbursable expenses. 4, the payment in 1 and 3 above, totaling 23.0 million, were made into the private account of staff of the ministry instead of the contractor's account. Issue number 5, irregular payment of premium motor spirit, PMS. Audit observed that 14 paid vouchers amounting to 22.5 million were paid to staff of the ministry to disburse to other staff for purchase of premium motor spirit, PMS, for day-to-day use of the ministry official vehicle. Issue number 6, all retired cash advances, 141.9 million. Audit observed that the sum of 141.9 million was granted to officers of the ministry as cash advance. The advances were not recorded in the ledger and register, and some were not retired as at the time of the audit. Multiple advances were also granted to staff without retiring the previous advances, a contravention of the provision of the extant regulations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I so submit.
Thank you very much. So, Permanent Secretary, it's over to you. Please take the issues one after the other. Thank you.
I really want to thank you for this opportunity given to the ministry to be able to respond to the audit queries as enumerated by the Office of the Auditor General. Before I delve into the responses of the issue, I wish to tender my unreserved heartfelt apology for appearing late at the committee. My minister had an appointment with Mr. President, and the meeting he was also meant to chair at the time, sure, I had to sit in for him, and I had to chair the meeting. On that note, I resumed and appeared before you as soon as I completed that task. Thank you so much. So with respect to issue 1 as raised, the diversion of contract payment to staff account, and our explanation of the ministry is as follows. Your observation is well noted. However, the reason for this transaction that was treated this way was actually sequel to the migration from JIFMIS 1 to JIFMIS 2. Now, at that time in question, there were distortions to the payment processes as guided and held by the JIFMIS process. There were actually distortions. For instance, I give an example. The expense request module of JIFMIS 1, which was used for payment to third parties on the platform, was not present on the JIFMIS 2. As such, the JIFMIS 1 platform required additional enrollment of role players from the procurement and from the store sections. As a result, the delays experienced in the enrollment of role players to the new platform prompted payments into the said officer's personal account to forestall possible litigations from the contractor. So it was actually handheld for the contractor. Kindly note that the said payments were duly and accurately transferred to the beneficiaries, while necessary tax deductions were accumulated with other remittances in accordance to the relevant tax authorities on the remitter platform. What I just said is attached as appendix 1, A to C.
Appendix 1.
Appendix 1 is one page.
Bring it up.
Page.
My honorable colleagues, I hope we all listen to the debate.
Issue 1.
Any observation? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your explanation. But from here, we are not satisfied. I will start by saying, are you familiar with financial regulations?
I am familiar with financial regulations.
Are you aware that monies above 200,000 should not go into staff accounts?
Absolutely, it's stated in the financial regulations.
So when there was a migration or issue with the give-miss, was there any official communication between your office and the office of the Accountant General? If there is, can we see it?
I wasn't the permanent secretary at that time. Why the monies were paid like there was supposed to any litigation by the contractor that his money was not paid to him?
Yes. Don't repeat what you have said. Just answer questions that they ask. It's saying that when there was this problem of migration, was there a correspondence to the Accountant General? And it should be a yes or a no, sir. No. I don't think it's a...
No, there was no correspondence.
Correct.
I added that the issue then was a service-wide issue and it affected all ministry, department and agencies.
Accountant General for all the ministries to do this. Because it's obvious that if you need to do something, there must be an authority to do it.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, there is no documented correspondence. But I know in practice, when systems do fail, the Accountant General is following the picture and aware. And then how ministry, department, and agencies would liaise with the Accountant General, and would liaise with them because at the board meeting of the Accountant General with permanent secretaries, it would have been spelled out that there are system issues, and then they are giving clearances to sort out payment, which they also quickly account for. That's the best practice.
I think if this was done, the Accountant General would not be raising this query. The Accountant General would not be raising the query.
Were you in PAMSEC and other ministry in 2020 when this happened?
No. Absolutely not. I was a director in the office of the president of the State House.
You said this was a nationwide thing. In your view, do you think other ministries started paying into private accounts or just waited? If you had waited, because I know that most ministries, departments, and agencies owe contractors for 5-6 years, and there's no litigation. So you said that your ministry was such a hurry to pay because of litigation. Has there been litigation with other contractors? Right now, do you owe other contractors? Have you owed other contractors for years that have still not been paid up to now in your ministry?
Now, it's not actually right for monies to be paid in personal accounts. Yes, when there are issues, accounting officers, permanent secretaries will liaise with the accountant general and they obtain approvals, and then the accountant is in the know. Now, the issues of monies being held contractor will not arise because fiscal arrangements have been made to pay the contractor as at when due, when cash plan has been uploaded, vouchers are ready, and then the payments are made. In this case, when I went through it, I had in mind that, oh, maybe there was an arrangement then to safeguard the money for the accountant. Maybe the accountant was in the know and was fully in the know because the accountant was actually, the contractor was paid immediately after that issue. It wasn't actually owed, the contract was not owed.
Intentional.
And it wasn't intentional on the part of the ministry, honestly.
These contractors in question, are they new contractors at that time? Or they have been existing contractors?
I don't think so, sir. I'm sure they are contractors that have been with the ministry. The registered tenders for the ministry and their records are fully.
All right, so you just take one or two and then we'll rule on this matter.
Of your ministry. How can you allow the payment to be conducted without due process? How can you allow payment to be conducted in your organization without due process? Number one. Number two, you make this payment before or after. That's contractual with the organization.
After the contractor did what?
Let me the question. What he's trying to put is the reversal. What he's trying to put is the reversal from the staff account to the contractor's account. We want to know the detail. When was the reversal? Is it before the query or after the query?
The query, no, it's not query.
Okay, that was it the one query, the maintenance query?
Yeah.
No, after. Permanent Secretary, you asserted before the committee that the money was paid to the contractor by the staff beneficiary. Yes. The committee wants to know when that, first, asserting that indeed that payment was made by the beneficiary to the contractor, and two, when exactly was the payment made from the beneficiary's account to the contractor's account. The contractor's account in this case will be a corporate account of the beneficiary of the contract. So we will need to see the evidence of that money actually leaving the account of that staff to the corporate account of the contractor whose name appeared on your contract paper. Is that in this document that you?
Yes.
Or what page is it?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in the
appendix.
document, I made reference to see appendix 1A to C.
Secretariat, can you please give us appendix what?
1A to C.
A, B, C. Please, can you give us that?
So, my director of finance bring it out.
Huh? Have you opened the page on your
Yes,
document?
it's appendix 1 to C.
Nobody.
On the
Just
page.
come, I'll bring the chair, come. Director of Finance, just walk here and open that appendix, something on this document here, so that we can then show our colleagues where it is. Thank you.
Your document is not clear.
My auditing staff would want to
Every
make a response to kind
investment
permission.
transactions are foggy. We did a deliberate thing, then at the bottom it's clear. So from page 15, 16 to your 26, all the first three payments are foggy. So how can we use this to verify anything?
Apart from the honorable colleague, I don't know whether the PS director, maybe you understand what the question is about.
Yes, I do understand. I'll kindly seek your permission to allow my internal audit staff to respond.
Okay, unfortunately, it's not an oath. I didn't see
Oh,
him.
yes, okay.
I didn't see him taking the oath.
Okay, after.
We cannot have the locals to testify in this hearing. The primary issue is how right, how lawful is it for the ministry to have paid money meant for the contractor to his personal account.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
since he has admitted that the ministry actually did this thing, Mr. Chairman, and he is equally familiar with the provision of the Financial Regulation Act. I think it's apt for him to just tell us what sanction the financial regulation had provided for such.
You mean the auditor should tell us?
He should tell us. He knows it. He said he knows. No, he doesn't want of what he has done. So he should just read it. And then we will now confirm if it's true, if it's right.
Where were you? Were you the DFA? Were you in the accounts department? Because this is 100% your responsibility. No. And as an accountant, we take this, we are not happy with this at all. Where were you at this point when this had happened?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I take full responsibility of whether I'm there as an accountant general staff. I have not been posted in that something, but I take full responsibility. When you look at the explanation we give to the federal auditor, the payment was due to exigencies. That time, I'm not trying to justify it.
We don't have too much time. You can see that today is even today.
Yes.
The secondary matter will be to ask that you provide us with the record of account of that beneficiary, evidencing the eventual transfer of the money to the contractor. You will supply.
Okay, which is here.
He's not here. Why are you saying the same thing now? Sure. Where is it?
We'll supply it. We'll supply it.
He's not here. You said no, sir. No, sir. Don't be. We don't want to rush you.
Okay.
If you are sure it is here, don't change your mind. God will say it's not here. You just show us. Say, leave. We can read now.
Okay.
Just show us.
We'll give a summary of it at the later time.
So, but on the primary issue of violation of financial regulation, honorable colleague, what did you recommend, Auditor General? What are your recommendations?
Our recommendation part one. The PAMSEC should be requested to account.
Yes, we have requested and he has come. He has explained. So what's the recommendation two?
Recover and remit to the treasury the sum of 45.2 million naira. Show evidence of remittance to the public accounts committees of the National Assembly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Otherwise, sanctions relating to irregular payments specified in paragraph 3106 of the Financial Regulation 209 should apply. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Chairman, I am aware that this honorable committee, heavily chaired by highly experienced legislator and a lawyer of high profile. Mr. Chairman, the end of whatever we do here is justice and nothing but justice. Mr. Chairman, just like every of our colleagues have submitted, it is apparent on the face of the submissions of the administration budget that they have infracted on the normal positions of the law. And the permanent secretary also admitted clearly that that's the position. However, a law will say that the form cannot defeat the substance. Mr. Chairman, to apply this recommendation will have to be if the committee finds out that the money was not immediately remitted to the contract beneficiary immediately after it was paid. Mr. Chairman, if we discover that it was immediately transferred to the contract beneficiary, if we hold this recommendation, it will amount to allowing the form.
I
am submitting that we hold on or carry a while on landing on the issue of the recommendation, pending when they submit a clear evidence to show that they actually transmitted this money. Otherwise,
honorable colleague, let's listen to you, sir. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, the PS haven't admitted, cleared on the proposal that there is an infraction which they have committed. Whether the money was eventually transferred to the contractor is second. The real offense is that the money was paid illegally into the account of the staff. That's the first offense. Now, that the money was not misappropriated by that staff, but was eventually paid to the contractor, is a second layer of that complaint. So the Financial Regulation Act is very clear.
All right, you are correct. You are very correct. But I want to plead that we take the two legs together, so that it will perhaps determine the severity of the punishment we are going to uphold. If you say, permanent sector, what I'm saying is that, because if we say we are upholding the refund of the money, and they eventually bring an evidence that shows the money goes to the person, it will be a double jeopardy. There is a principal infraction established, and we should not shy away from that. And that one will also come with consequences. But let's consummate them so that we take the two together. So we are going to be giving you 72 hours to provide us with the details of the account of this beneficiary that will evidence the eventual transfer of the sum of money to the ultimate beneficiary. After that, we'll then take a decision on this query number one. Before we hit the gap, we want to say something now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
I really thank you for this honor given to me as a permanent secretary of the ministry to be able to respond to all these various issues that have been presented to my ministry. I know I assumed duty as the ministry a few months ago, truth be told, but I'm also aware of the rules and regulations. I'm an embodiment of the core values. I wanted to make an appeal, sir, with your kind permission, to please, all the issues that are being raised, please give me more time to dig in deeper and then come to your office and present answers. Because it's my authority as a
My
permanent
office is not a hearing room.
Oh, sorry, come to the committee, sorry. Come to the committee and represent all the questions.
6 issues.
No, the questions regarding time, payment, all the evidences that are required will be presented to the
I
committee.
understand. Is it just, are you talking only of issue one, or you are talking about the whole
Issue one.
No, issue
The
one.
whole issue.
Issue
Yeah, sorry, the whole issue. Because all the issues that are new to me. I said the whole issue. They are not guiding me.
Honorable colleague, if he's asking for a little time, maybe he didn't know the depth of this issue before now. Honorable colleagues, I want to please, so that we will err on a note of caution, to give the Federal Ministry of Metal and Economic Planning a period of 2 weeks.
Thank you.
A period of 2 weeks. Thank you so much, Honorable colleague. 2 weeks to go and look at your books again. And maybe by the time you are coming back, you will come back with an admittance of guilt, which will then lessen the severity of the punishment that will be recommended. Perhaps, or maybe you will have been able to gather enough or sufficient defense for this infraction. So the committee has given honorable colleagues in favor of that 2 weeks extension of the matter on the Ministry of International Planning. Say aye. Those against say nay. Yes, have it.
Deputy Chairman and other members of this committee, I sincerely would want to express my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to all the members. The strict adherence to the code of conduct with respect to public financial regulations is highly demanding and paramount in public financial management. This I have made as a permanent secretary. And under oath, as an embodiment of core values, I stand to uphold all the right practices with respect to public financial management. I would want to promise that within the space of time given to us, all questions, all evidences will be provided. I clearly state where I see an infraction, I admit it's an infraction.
All right, thank you very much, Secretary.
Thank you.